Welcome back to Driven for Health. This is Coach Brian, and today feels big. It's 30 episodes. Not only that, most people don't even make it past 10 episodes. I never thought I'd have a podcast, let alone be this far deep. But I see a huge need to provide for my guys to thrive. Today is December 2. That's why you see me with Santa hat on. And this is also the first video that I'm going to be doing as well in terms of a podcast format. I started off the first 20 just going straight in, trying to figure it out, find my voice, and be able to create, just focus on the actual content. On 20 to 30, I started adding music. You might hear some of it. And now we're going to 30 on, keep up with the video, try and play with the big boys in the podcast space. Well, I hope that you, the listener, are getting a lot out of this. Obviously, I work with men, but there's so many applications if there are women listening in that I speak to humans. I speak to people who want to live a healthier, happier life, that have kids, that have a career, that want to thrive and not just be stuck with a body and an energy, a look, a feel, an identity that they are stuck in. And when I first started the podcast, I wanted a place to just speak directly to these guys, remind them who they are on the inside, and also wanted to remind myself of how powerful of a leader I can be. And with having 4 kids and my wife, Amber, being self-employed, life is crazy. It's busy. It's pulling me in every direction possible. I'm up late. I'm up early, right? I think you might know and understand that. But I know I want to look and feel great. I want to look and feel the way I do now when I'm 50. That's really important to me. And being able to help others look and feel better in the next 5-10 years is part of my life mission. And that's what we're here to do. Stronger for yourself, but more impactful in your families and the people that you are around every single day. And I want you to feel proud of that. This show is really a space for guys to breathe for a moment, to hear something that actually helps them. Something that actually cuts through all the fit influencers, all the YouTubes, the Googling, the people in the office that say, hey, you should try this thing or that thing, or hey, everyone's sticking themselves with a shot. Maybe that's the only way I can find that I'm going to be successful in this is by taking a GLP-1. I will assure you it's not true. Even in the last round of my Call to Rise program, I had multiple guys, 25 to 30 pounds in 100 days lost through the 4 pillars of nutrition, fitness, hydration, sleep. These are the basis of what it is, plus time management, stress management, and creating a better identity through the 5 pillars of the call is all about your identity, about who you are on the inside and how you show yourself on the out. The forge is your body, building it up to be able to put up with the strength, the demands of the world. We have the fuel, nutrition. Nutrition is the key to this. I've been speaking on nutrition for the last 10 years or more, specifically to help people. Some clients just literally walk and they focus on food through practical science-backed nutrition, and then kabam, they are off to the races. The mindset is the 4th pillar, about changing the way you think about not only yourself, but about the other things that are happening around you and how to prioritize you as a person and really have a rock solid mindset and not let anything disrupt you. And the 5th pillar is brotherhood. You do not have to do this alone. In fact, study after study show that if you do this with support, you're going to be that much more successful. And having a guide, a lead, someone who knows what they're doing, has been doing this their whole career, will help you. Now, hitting the episode 30 feels like a moment to just slow down and talk about some of the things that matter most, some of the habits, the one-liners that I teach my clients every single day. These are phrases that I say off the cuff all the time, and they just have been known for Coach Brianisms in a sense. Now, we really focus on habits, lifestyle, behavior change alongside the education and understanding of nutrition, but we need to be able to have simple things to lock into your brain and your mind that allow you to be successful, to then be able to apply them, to stop and think about, hey, I can make a better choice here. And if I make a better choice, then I will be able to have a better result, better impact, better energy in the next thing that happens for me. If you're a man in your 40s, then listen up here. I want to just call out the call to rise real quick. If you're carrying extra weight, doesn't matter if it's December or whenever you listen to this episode, that's what the call to rise is about. It's a 100-day program that I built, a 100-day challenge, really, to come in, lose 20 plus pounds, get a clear plan, weekly accountability, daily accountability, radical support from me, your coach, and the other guys who are rising up to a higher standard, a higher level. And if you want a system, a process, support, and other people to help guide you through it, and there's a money back guarantee, consider looking for thecalltorise.com and joining up with me. And shoot, I've had thousands of people in my career now helping. And so I have a long track record. So visit thecalltorise.com and let's jump into our 30th episode. Now, I also want to get to know Coach Brian a little bit more. The popular phrases are the main, say, meat and potatoes of our conversation, but I wanted to share a little bit more about who I am. I talked about it on the first episode, but then I went straight into the goods, talking about the nutrition pyramid. That was episodes 5 through 11. I have some testimonials that I have built, peppered in throughout. I've got plenty more that I'm going to have on so you guys can hear real stories of real men transforming no matter how busy they are or how much responsibilities they have, whether it's a business, whether it's a family, whether it's demands of their career, whatnot. But I wanted to just talk about Coach Brian for a second. Now, I've been pretty active my entire life. Started back in high school, even before that, playing basketball in my backyard with my best friend Gentry across the street. He'd come over, Eugene Lowry. He was 2 doors down. The guy his parents built a concrete basketball court in their backyard because this guy played basketball so much. And he would have these tournaments basically in his backyards, come over 3-on-3, and people would be playing till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning in the high school days. It was hilarious, and I loved it. But I played basketball. I was okay at it. I played baseball, okay at it. But my buddy Dan, he invited me back it was freshman year to run track. I said, sure. I like you, Dan. I enjoy being around you. And then there's some other guys that I enjoyed being around as well. Leo has been a lifelong friend as well. And off we went. I joined in and I ended up running my whole time in high school, which then landed into college. I ran the first year and realized as much of a desire to be a pro athlete or even a professional amateur, I just wasn't fast enough. These guys in college at the University of Akron, they were warming up at what felt like my race pace. Holy moly. They were off to the races literally from the first step of practice. But that ultimately led me to running in marathons. I ran a 50-mile race. I had the pleasure of running Boston on my second marathon. Akron Marathon was my first. I finished in 3:09, which is not too shabby. I wanted to break 3 hours of Boston. I trained for 8 months solid for that. No, actually over a year, because I trained 8 months for Akron. Then that was in September or so. And then I trained in through April. It was about 18, 19 months to Boston that I was consistently running, and it was 80 degrees. Coming out of the winter in Ohio, if you've been training in 20 to 30 degree weather, you would understand you are acclimatized toward that weather. Running on a Monday at 80 degrees, clear blue skies. Oof. It was a survival of the fittest. People were dropping like flies at Boston, but I was so happy to do it back in 2004 is when I ran Boston, which led me to all sorts of different things. Again, a 50-mile race. And ultimately, I grew tired of running. You can only run. Hey, great. Yay, I get to run an hour today. That's only so fun for so long, even if you have people. And then I transitioned into doing triathlons. I did that for about 3-4 years. Funny enough, I was able to actually see my son race at the same place that I raced at Portage Lakes. And he did amazing. He did a 2:42. My fastest was, it was, what do we look up? 2:06, I believe, something like that. Back in the day, 2005, 2006, something around there. So not too shabby. I was really good, but again, not an elite level athlete as much as I trained and wanted to be, but I had a blast. That led me through college. That I was in the exercise science and nutrition. I didn't even know I was going to land there. I honestly thought that I was going to be, I just started, hey, I'm going to take all the oh my gosh, the general studies. That's what we're talking about. I took all the general studies that I could, and then I stumbled into Memorial Hall. Memorial Hall led me to this display. The display had, 10 different careers in exercise or nutrition. I said I could do any one of these and sign me up. And off we went. I was blessed to just find my passion. And that was, I graduated in 2004. I've been doing nutrition exercise this whole time. What really caught my attention was not only do I, vanity's sake of look good, feel good myself, but I'm able to help impart that idea of helping other people take care of themselves too and transform their bodies. But ultimately, as I had grown into this, the lives, the confidence, the energy, the boldness that people get is amazing. I'm so blessed to be able to help so many experience that as we go. And shifting belief patterns, identity states, and proving things that what they thought to be true to be actually false and just something made up in their heads. And that empowerment of my clients is what's been my underlying reason why I keep doing this. Now, I graduated teaching group exercise classes and graduated the exercise science degree, and I taught those classes. It was so cool. I could get paid to exercise. The best thing, especially when you're in your young 20s. Oh my gosh, I can get on a bike and do teach spin class for an hour and get paid $20. You just sign me up. And that's exactly what I did, which then transitioned into my first job, which was at the wellness center. Before that, in my schooling, I was in the wellness suite, and that was a place where I did body fat tests, exercise prescriptions, bone density tests. I can't tell you how many people I pinched for body fat. They used to call me the Vulcan because I would just pinch an inch. In a sense, people would be, ow, what are you doing? That's muscle. No, sorry, that is body fat, unfortunately. Now, I get into my fitness staff part of Lifestyles in Akron, and I was working the floor. And then I saw that was okay. Just cleaning equipment and doing general exercise prescription for people and just making sure people are helped and happy in the gym. That's fine. But I saw the personal trainers, they were making double the amount of money. I said, shoot, let's get into this. Why not work for twice as much pay for the same amount. And within, about 3 months, I was a full-time personal trainer, PT, as they would call it. And in that time, I was able to really grow my skills. I was of being personable, of being connected to people, of just being face to face, listening, hearing, understanding how to communicate and be personable. I did that for 5 straight years, every single day, having people in the gym all day long. So I moved on from the phenomenal abdominal class, Mondays at 5 to 5:30, to just personal training. And as I started to outgrow that space, I was constantly looking for, what are the best solutions? What are the best way for me to elevate my education, my abilities, but also my results? I needed my clients to be successful, right? Because if I'm successful, I will attract more of what I want, which is to be more successful, have more clients, make more money, and provide for my family. And at this point, we started having one child, that's Levi, and then Amber and I were on to our second one when I decided to move, Everett. I decided to move in from the gym personal training space to a CrossFit gym. I had a passion and love for CrossFit, as this was in 2007-ish or 2008. Started really falling in love with CrossFit and coaching my clients through that. And it has been amazing and wildly successful for them to be able to learn that expression of exercise. And in that expression, I'd watch so many coaching videos. How do you coach this technique in this form, in this position, in this movement to get someone to do it properly, correctly, without getting hurt? Most importantly, lesson number 1 in personal training is don't hurt your clients. Okay. Don't do it. So if you're a PT listening in here, that is rule number 1, because your paycheck is directly influenced. As I grew through CrossFit and a farther love, I worked out with Travis, and there's another gentleman that I had worked out, and we just absolutely loved it. We would do 2 WODs workout of the days a day. And when I had my kids, I had less time to go on an hour, 2-hour bike ride or a run. I kind of burned that up in my younger married years. Hey, Amber, I'm going to be gone for 2 hours, come back 3 after I did a long bike and chatted with someone. And she's like, I thought you were going to be back an hour earlier. I got carried away. I was talking to someone. Go figure, right? But CrossFit really worked. Short, high-intensity workouts in my young 20s, mid-20s. Let's go. And that's what I did. I ended up moving into 2010, 2011, this winter season, just literally almost now, today's 2025, so about 10 years ago. It was, 14 years ago, 14 years ago, because it was 15 years ago. Math, Brian. 2025 minus 2010, that would be 15 years ago. That's when I was sat in my gym helping people. Now, fortunately, as we went through this in the first year, I had a personal training client, Betsy Finley. She came with me. I had been working with this woman for years. She came to my abdominal class, my spinning class, my shake and bake boot camp training class on that I do on Friday nights. It was awesome. I loved it. And she enjoyed our work together, and she came to the CrossFit. Now, there's this thing called the CrossFit Open. She said, what is that? I said, we're going to do it. It's fun. And in CrossFit world, everything's fun, right? When you're enthusiastic about it. Well, we got her signed up, and lo and behold, a couple workouts later, she's ranked number 2 in the world in her age group at age 60. Pretty wild, pretty special moment. All right. With CrossFit being so big now, it would be really slim chance to be able to recreate that. But we went 3 years in a row. We got 1st, 2nd, and 8th place with Betsy, as she could deadlift 250 pounds. She could rope climb, do pull-ups, lift 100 pounds overhead. and she had a six pack, or almost. She was a fun loving grandma who just was passionate about taking care of herself and was able to express that through CrossFit. So, CrossFit World Champion under my belt. Well, as the years continued, I ended up leaving that gym and starting another one. And that was another about 2-year process of just, again, helping people move their bodies, fall in love with exercise again, and being healthy and happy. And therefore, I ended up shifting out of CrossFit and being in a gym space to being in actually this barn where I'm at. This is my studio. And welcome to the barn, my garage barn gym. I've got everything in here. One day, maybe we'll do a tour of it. But you get a lot of equipment when you own gyms. And that's exactly what it was. Lots of gym, lots of equipment. I left the gym space and went online. I did some personal training in this gym to buffer, but I've been solely online for the last 10 years, talking about coaching people, shifting my abilities to actually make a big impact on someone, from the very simple things of getting them to choose to eat healthier to then move into bigger things. Movement, of course, drinking water, getting enough sleep, managing their stress, coming up with solutions that actually made sense in their individual world. Now, my first wild success was Dana. This woman, the changes and transformation that she had in her life was incredible. And she was a young mother of 2 kids, and she wanted to be a better mother for her children, but also better for herself. She was 40 pounds overweight, and we were able to not only lose that, but she reshaped some of her identity of what she thought and how she felt about who she was and what she did. It was amazing. The shifts in her lifestyle were tremendous. And I'm so grateful for Dana allowing me to be able to coach and engage with her on a deeper level than just, hey, eat these type of foods or nutrition, but make a really solid impact in her life. And that's when I absolutely fell in love with coaching and having a deep impact. I've helped athletes, business owners, executives, people facing serious health challenges like cancer, heart attacks, diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure, PCOS, chronic stress, one kidney, lung challenges, fatty liver, you name it. I have probably dealt with it on some relationship issues, career issues, all sorts of different things. But the common takeaway here is that every single person had a desire to feel better for themselves and the people around them. And that's where I met them. Hey, what's one thing you can do that can better yourself today to be around longer for tomorrow? Take care of yourself, have the energy. And that's what has fostered these last 10 years or so exclusively being online coaching. And that's what brings me to even this podcast. I said, hey, Brian, let's get your head out of the sand here, pop up and start sharing some of the valuable experiences that you had with thousands of people. And then you can make an even bigger impact than just what I'm doing, which again, I've worked with thousands of people, but it'd be awesome to work with even more. Now, who am I outside of this? I've talked about a little bit, but husband of almost 20 years to this date. I love my wife, Amber. We are high school sweethearts. I met her back when I was 11. Pretty wild. And we have 4 kids together. Levi, 16. Everett, going to be 15 here in about 2 weeks. Maxwell is 12, and Emmeline is 10. 3 boys and a girl. I am blessed beyond belief to be self-employed, to have a wonderful, amazing family, be able to provide and support them. That is a strong, strong core component of who Brian is. He is a provider and will do anything that he has to make things work for his family. Now, outside of just the craziness of 4 kids, and if you have even 1 kid, you totally get it. But 2, 3, 4, or I've come across some clients of 5. God love them for that, right? And so, what else do? We are world travelers. We've done all 50 states. Our goal is to sleep in every state with the family. We've slept through 49. We've been to 50. Idaho is the one that got away from us. We planted feet in Idaho, but we didn't spend the night. We spent a night in every single other state. We actually have this old framed in garage sailed map that it's huge. It's probably about 4 foot by 6 foot, something like that. Maybe not that big, but maybe say 3 foot by 5 foot or 4, something like that. It's a pretty large map. And we have pins in all the states of where we slept the first time and then subsequent nights as well. This thing looks like a pincushion. Last counted, it was almost 90 pins inside the states and Puerto Rico as well. And now we're on to all 7 continents. Maxwell blew our minds coming back from the monument of the Utah license plate and Arches monument in Moab and there in Utah. He came out of there. We were walking back, said, how about we do all 7 continents? I said, shoot. I looked back. I was just blown away. Oh my gosh, this could totally work. I can't imagine going to things like Antarctica, places there, or just seeing so many different things. I could go on and on for episodes about different places we've been. We've had the blessings of being in London, Costa Rica, Finland, Kenya, Egypt. Where else? We just got back from Canada on a holiday weekend. We're going to Peru, Machu Picchu in April. Japan is there. We've got some Thailand area, Australia, and yeah, those are some of the other places that we need to check. Galapagos, that one our family is definitely looking forward to. It'll be a lot of fun there. Now, let's get into the one-liners. I hope that gives you a little bit better idea who Brian is, what he's passionate about. Just hearing some of the stories and the energy that I have for the clients that I engage with. All right. And maybe I could help change your life just from even listening to this, or reach out and let's talk, have a conversation, see how it can impact your life, because people helping people. My underlying goal is help the person, leave the other person in a better spot than when I found them, right? Treat others as you would like to be treated and help people live better lives. All right. Into it now. Number 1, PPA. Plan, prepare, act. This is the heartbeat of everything I teach. If you're not planned, you can't be prepared, and then you can't act on it. Those are all 3 really big challenges that end up getting thrown in your face if you aren't careful. I don't go off of willpower or motivation, none of that stuff. So many guys will plan every area of their life out, but they won't even know what they're going to eat in a day. And not that you have to necessarily know what to eat, but you need to know how to be resourceful to be able to pick the right foods at the right times in the right amounts to be successful and eat healthy meals that keep the energy to keep up with all the demands that you have, right? Now, oftentimes, perfect intentions will always go astray. And if someone is planned out, they will at least have a process that they can even pivot if necessary. Say A, plan B. So plan, then prepare. If you're more prepared, I think life in and of itself is about preparation. Even getting this video podcast, I prepared about an hour before, setting it up, testing it. I've got a new little play toy here for my voice, so hopefully it sounds more like a radio voice. A Bowcaster Focusrite device that plugs into my computer to give my microphone a little more boost, or gain they call it, and give that nice rich voice sound. And preparation and planning is again going back to the key of what is hopefully making this podcast a success as well. I have a structure, I have a framework. I've listened to other podcast professionals. I've listened to so many different episodes on Apple, Spotify, or even YouTube shows on the podcast and see what they're doing and observe. And this is my creation and approach on how I do this right now as it evolves into something bigger as I grow personally and professionally. We have to prepare. Then if you're planned and you're prepared, it's easy to act on it. You can just follow through. And if you get this first two out of the way, it's so much easier to just do the thing that you need to do to be successful. And then challenges are but steps that you have to step over, a rock instead of a boulder that you can just move out of the way, because life will always give you challenges. The next one is focus on overall calories. This is the first level. If you go back to episode 5, I talk about the calories of the exercise pyramid. And that is the very first part of this whole process. We go calories first, and then the macros of protein, carbs, and fats, that's macronutrients. Then it goes into micros. But if you could all be macroed out and have the best macro ratios, but if you're eating too many calories, you're eating too much clean, healthy food, you're still going to have challenges managing your body weight and your energy. We don't need crazy rules, fads, all these things. It's science, people. It's science. You need a certain amount of energy every day to give you the results that you want for yourself. And once you manage your calories, everything else gets so much easier, because you don't have to have perfect macros. You don't have to have perfect clean eating. You just don't. I have thousands and thousands of examples of proof over the years that people eat subtly different, but they follow the general premises of the things that we talked about in all the episodes of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11 for the nutrition pyramid. And there's constant reminders throughout these episodes of what the core main things that they are. And even this episode is reminding you what is most important. The next one, third, is going to be the reading nutrition labels. If you really want to know what is in the food you're eating, you flip it over. You don't look at the front of it that is marketed to you. It's shiny, it's flashy, it has big words on it that make you feel happy and good inside when you pick it up and you go to buy it. But oftentimes I use this example so many times. When we pick up 2 items at the grocery store, item on the left could be the branded food item that says it's super healthy, it's this, that, and the other, and you've just always bought that because you have it's given the appearance that it is healthy. You've assumed that it's the healthier version. But product B over here has a better nutrition label, has better label on it. It has better calories for the portion, better macros, less sugar, whatever, to get you more successful there. If you want help looking at nutrition labels, I will have an episode on that. I haven't done nutrition labels specifically just yet, but it's coming. All right. But you can even email me, brian@brianprana.com, or comment and ask a question about, is this food product good or not? Share a nutrition label at Coach Brian Prana on my Instagram. Great places to engage with me to learn more. And number 4 is movement is energy. No matter how tired you ever are, if you get up and start moving your body, you will get the blood flowing, the heart rate goes up, your endorphins go. Movement is energy. Mother Nature's best remedy for a depressive, low energetic state is movement, is sunshine, is fresh air, is getting oxygen into your lungs to move your body and your blood around. And people, we were meant to move. That's just part of our DNA, our literally thousands and thousands of years that we've been in existence. We've had to move to even just stay alive. It's only in the last 100 years or so that we have been blessed beyond measure to have a convenience-driven life. Movement is energy. Can't tell you how many times 10,000 steps a day has won the day to help you move and burn enough calories to be healthy and productive. And it gets you functional and fit. And of course, we can do exercise on a deeper level. But again, just walking and spending time with people is going to be it. And again, being in December, we actually have a snow day today. I'm going to be moving with my kids out building snowmen and maybe trying to do a sled ride experience with at least my younger two. But I have to figure out if there's enough snow on the ground to be able to do that. It's close. I'm not sure if there is or isn't. Now, standing is better than sitting, and then moving and walking is better than just standing. Say if you have a walking pad, and then running if you can, or getting your heart rate up, we do need to do that a little bit. The next one is, I already referenced it, but 10K a day. I think that outlines what a healthy person is. A healthy, active, fit individual moves 10,000 steps on a regular, everyday basis. It helps you just thrive and be successful in everyday life. It will be a huge weight maintenance plan for you as well. You will not struggle with maintaining body weight if you keep that level of activity up. Does it always have to be consistent every day? No, it could be just average across the board based on what life has for you. But 10K steps is so important and has been an undertone of the coaching that I've had people do. I like moving, and I'm in a better mood and better energy because of it. Drink plenty of water. Your body is a sponge. Don't be SpongeBob in the Sahara. Do not walk around dehydrated. You will eat more calories. You will feel worse. You will be run down. You'll be more likely to be sick, be injured, get hurt, have muscle pain, aches, cramps, because you're just not hydrated enough. Okay. You don't want beef jerky in your ankle and calf muscle as you're trying to go for a walk or a jog. It's not going to work. Women, 80 ounces or more ideal. Men, 100 ounces or more. And it doesn't have to just be plain water. We can flavor it. We can put sparkles in it. In fact, I have my coffee, which you might, if you're watching this video, you see me sipping it. But then here's my 40 ounces of water. And I actually have some seltzered water in here. We have a soda stream, and I pour it into the water. Here we go. As I take a sip, I'm talking a lot, so I need to wet my whistle in a sense. But the seltzered bubbliness, carbonation makes it so much more enjoyable. I have less cravings, I have less fatigue, less irritability, better bowel movements. I do pee a lot. I do drink more than 100 ounces. I'll usually consume at least a gallon most days. As one, to make sure my body's in peak performance as best as I can, because it's a free technique and opportunity for you to be at your best. Why not take it? The next one, practice portion control around proteins, fibers, carbs, and starchy carbs. I love the plate method. If we take the plate, we have a quarter of the plate being a protein, quarter of the plate being a starch, and half the plate being vegetables. That's a really simplified way to do it. Think of a tennis ball size worth of a protein, tennis ball size worth of a starchy carb, and 3 tennis ball size worth of a vegetable. If that's the typical plate that you eat, you will be very well off. Maybe for bigger guys, more active guys, we might have to get another tennis balls in the protein for sure. In the protein, we can always do 2 tennis ball size worth of protein in a sense to get adequate protein, but we might need a little more carbs as well. We could add another tennis ball, so to speak, for that. And I reference tennis balls because everyone knows what a tennis ball looks like, and it's really easy to see that visually on your plate. Oh, this is a roughly appropriate amount of food. And we want to make sure that it is balanced and it is portioned. And it's roughly, say, 500 calories, maybe 600 at a time. You could do 3 or possibly 4 meals a day. And if you eat like that, you will never have body weight issues. You don't have to guess. You don't have to be confused. You don't have to try whatever weird approach around food. 2 shakes and a sensible dinner. You just eat those 3 squares a day, you'll be fine. Which then leads us into the next two that piggyback on each other. But eat until you're full enough. Okay. 80%. It usually takes 20 minutes for you to start feeling full. And once we can say push past that time frame and eat slowly enough and just be patient with hunger and not just gobble up every single bite in your mouth, then you will be that much better off. You will be content eating 200, 300, 400 less calories at the meal. You won't be stuffed. You won't be uncomfortable. Your pants will fit, and you won't have that crashing energy because of just carb coma, the digestion process. Your body shuttles blood into your belly to help with the digestion, and the more calories that are there, the slower that process will be. And unfortunately, guys get a lot out of eating as much food as possible, but if it's impacting your digestion, say acid reflux or your bowel movements, your plumbing's a little too fast or slow, if it's giving you bad energy throughout the day, if it's resulting in a chronic illness, a digestive issue like Crohn's or indigestion, or getting into diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, then you're not winning any gains by eating too much food. You're dying faster than you would like. The next one that I love to see, this will remind people, especially on the timing of food, is eat enough food until the next time you eat again. It's so easy and critically important to live and die by that. And just plan it out in your day. Hey, I'm going to be gone for 5 hours. If I eat a balanced meal before I leave, protein and vegetable heavy, I will have no problem getting through 5 hours without wanting to be famished or be craving something and fall victim to a fast food run that not only costs $10+ for junk food, but you get 1,500 plus calories, and it throws you off track. Eat enough food until the next time you're going to eat again. And that will help you plot and plan out your day so well. Eat clean and simple whenever it's the easiest. If you're by yourself, your meal should be balanced. It should be protein and vegetable heavy. Why? Because you have utmost control of that situation, and it should be easiest to allow for the flexibility and moderation for balance at other meals in the day. So important to be able to manage that and have success, that you have some wiggle room, extra calories at this, or be able to enjoy a meal with a loved one. It's so critically important to have that level of enjoyment there. Be on point when it makes the most sense. I love this one. Your imagination and creativity are the biggest limiters to the meals you eat. If your food is boring, you're going to be bored of it. You're going to be eating the same foods on a regular basis. We just want to make sure that we spice them up in a sense. A good example, say chicken. You're going to have chicken a lot. Why? Because it's a high protein source. It's low fat, and it fills you up for a long time. It's a good thing. Well, if you just have cold boiled chicken all the time, good luck. You're not going to win. You will crash and burn on eating chicken too much. But if you get chicken in a variety of different ways, think of garlic chicken, but barbecue sauce chicken, BBQ with a low calorie barbecue, lemon pepper, salt and pepper. We can do dill. We can do tagine. We can do, Italian herb. There's so many different ways. Put it with marinara, salsa. So many different ways to make chicken a little more lively and tasty so that you don't get tired and fatigued of it. If you are working with me, I'm going to force you to make sure that your food is good, enjoyable, and you can then be successful with the food. All right. We can also look at different cooking tools, different textures. Maybe putting a little bit of panko on your chicken breast might make it just different enough that it's even easier to eat more chicken, which is the win. We could just have a little less starchy carb or fat on that meal, a little more vegetables, and you'll be plenty content. And you'll be really excited that you're able to control your food. Remember, cooking is just a skill set. If you don't know how to cook, you can learn. Emeril Lagasse, Gordon Ramsay, they weren't professional chefs until they were. But how many meals do you think they cooked? How many failed, not so good meals do you think they made that didn't pass the test until they actually knew what they were doing? Next up is swap one alcohol beverage for a serving of starchy carbs. So simple. You're going out to steakhouse, have a protein, double vegetable, and the tall boy. You'll be successful. You're trading those starchy carbs for the alcohol calories, and you will have a reasonable plate, ideally 1,000 or less calories if you're going out to eat. If you're going over 1,000 calories, you better have it in your calorie budget. And again, episode 5 goes over calories. Episode 28 goes over alcohol. So you can listen to those and check back into that of my detailed assessment of alcohol, how to use it best, when and when not to, all the things to stay on track when it comes to drinking. Best choice when eating out is protein double vegetable. This is another one, okay? Eat protein double vegetable when you go out. You will cut out 300 to 500 calories very quickly. If you could ask for no oil or butter, that'll cut down another 100 to 300 calories that are hidden, that you do not even see on the plate. Okay? Protein, double vegetables, no oil, no butter for the win. If you get sauces, put them on the side. You could dip and stab and still have a wonderfully tasting meal, and it fall right in line with what's important to you. Then we have the last one. The last one-liner I like to say is, did you enjoy yourself? Episode 11, really about lifestyle, jumps all over this one. The holidays, literally Thanksgiving was this last week, and so many clients, I just asked them, did you enjoy yourself? Were your expectations in alignment with the type of experience that you had? And make sure that it was, whether you ate all the food or you controlled yourself. Whatever your experience you wanted it to be was what we wanted that to be on the other end. So say Monday, Tuesday, Cyber Monday, we want to be, oh, I had a really good time, because there's so many other things about that experience that go beyond just stuffing your mouth full of food and feeling bloated, just overindulged, and just basically the experience is ruined the next day. So did you enjoy yourself? There's the entertainment factor, the relationship factor, the just being in the moment and not falling asleep on the couch. Okay. I hope that you understand these. They're so simple because I've explained them so many thousands of times, and it all goes into more intentionality, living with a purpose, eating with a purpose, enjoying life, and pursuing progress on all at the same time. And that's the entire point of my work that I do with anyone. Enjoy your life experience, get the results that you need, and be wildly successful. All right, let's move into the Fast 5, and we'll start to wrap up here in this episode. It's been 48 minutes. Thanks so much for hanging on here, and we'll be done in a little bit. The Fast 5 are supposed to be quick. Question 1, what is one thing your clients might be surprised to know about you? The obvious. I eat pie, cake, ice cream, beer, pizza. I might even do it all in the same day. But I still abide by the rules of thermodynamics, of the energy balance of my body. I make sure that I eat an appropriate amount of calories, regardless of what those calories are. And again, going back to some of these rules, I eat when I need to give me the results that I'm after. And I'm a master manipulator around my calories, and I can manage it no problem. Question number 2. What recent moment with your kids reminds you of why your health matters? I'm going to go this weekend. We are in Niagara Falls for 2 nights and Toronto for a night. We went to Canada Wonderland. I got 22,000 steps the first day in Niagara Falls. I need to keep up with my family. We are an active on the go group of people here. I walked to the falls 3 different times from the Hilton up on the hillside. We toured around the place, did all the fun things. They had these awesome light up seesaws. If you happen to be on my socials, you might have saw me gliding up and down with my kids. I'd had Maxwell and Emline on the other side for me with my big butt. But keeping up with my family is why my health matters. And starting to get in shape for our Peru trip here in spring break, Machu Picchu at elevation. I want to be able to effortlessly climb the mountains as much as you can living in Northeast Ohio. This is Summit County, which is the highest point in the whole Ohio, but I think it's only 100 feet above sea level or something. It's not that high. Maybe more, but you get my point. It's not a mountain. All right, next up is, what meal could you eat every day and never tire of it? I've talked about this a lot. I love my cottage cheese mixtures with some protein powder, some berries, a little bit of cereal, some chia seed. That is a go-to. Takes under 5 minutes to prepare and usually even eat. Put a little bit of Cool Whip on there and bam, I got 50 plus grams of protein, a little bit of starch, a little bit of healthy fat, tons of fiber, probably 10 plus grams of fiber in that combo. And I'm off to the races to be full and fueled for the next 4 or 5 plus hours if I need to, depending on the size of the food serving that I give myself. Number 4, what lesson about health did you learn the hard way? I would say it wasn't necessarily a hard way. It was a long way. Nutrition. If you want to know how I understand nutrition so well, I spent 4 years tracking food, looking at nutritional labels, weighing and measuring. But then I spent even longer, 20 years, talking to people about it every single day, helping them problem solve, troubleshoot how to manage it best. And lastly, number 5, what personal routine do you rely on when life gets busy? These days, it's just take a break, take a breath, take a moment of silence, and just breathe in. Hold it, because the holding is important, and then exhale. Attention, bring down the levels of whatever's going on, the craziness, because life gets crazy with 4 kids, with being self-employed, with having many clients that I'm serving, and just managing bills in life like every single other person here. The ongoings of our climate and all that stuff. But I think that's the one thing that I do. And then the second one is exercise. I do like working out, and it is a huge stress relief for me as well. And I think you should do it too. In closing, episode 30 means a lot. I hope that it means a lot to you as well. If you've been on the journey here, listening to all these, hope you get so much out of it and you have practical, real inspiration, ideas, encouragement, energy, science-backed information to apply and remind you that it's a 1% better game, that small steps repeated consistently that move you in the direction that you want to go is going to create the outcome you're after. That is true for this show and is true for your health. Most popular phrases are not complicated. They're honest, they're easy, and individualized for you because you're going to think through what it looks like and feels like. Build them in your life. Have these things start moving you in the right direction. And if you want help applying these habits, just reach out. There's structure, there's support, there's a goal is a 100-day challenge, lose 20 plus pounds, be successful, and there's a money back guarantee. You're going to get your life back. thecalltorise.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for showing up. And thank you for always being part of Driven for Health and this journey to be a stronger, healthier, happier man for you, yourself, and those around you. See you in the next episode.